fired up, impressed with the way our players, our team, our entire organization handled the week in preparation for a team that had been playing really good football team, and handling what they do best, which is tempo, right? Trying to work people down. And so hats off first goes out to our scout team, who simulated them as good as you could possibly do all week long. And because that is a challenge, but the physicality, the level of energy that we played with tonight, albeit a couple of critical mistakes, was progress for our football team. So that being said, questions, please.
So, Coach, start with Tim Reynolds from the AP.
Mario, I know you're not a big believer in statement games and that sort of thing, but this was a team that's ranked. Two very good games to start the year, and it was about as one-sided as you see a ranked game. Just what does this say about where you guys are at this point?
Well, I mean, again, I like to give them credit because they are good. They've got a lot of speed. They've got a lot of athletic guys that make a lot of plays, and that scheme is hard to deal with. I think our guys, they didn't want to be part of the narrative of, somebody else's success, stepping stone kind of season. That's been the story all week. And, there was a lot of motivation going into this thing, besides the fact that they were a ranked football team, because I have a lot of respect for their coaches and their players. But it's an in-state game, and those things you have to play at your very best, because you're never all the way out of these games. And our guys really took it personal to not let anything get in the way of doing their job. Intensity, physicality, urgency, and discipline all came together really nicely for us tonight.
Coach Jordan McPherson,
Coach Mark Fletcher, 2 touchdowns, a lot of gutsy runs in there. Just we've seen over the last couple of years. What do you see pretty specifically tonight that stood out about what he was able to?
Well, it's a loaded box. I mean, it's +1 and then some. I wouldn't say they're in zero, but they're as close to being in zero as possible. You're almost outnumbered by 2, so there were going to be some bloody runs in there. He finds a way to make space and make holes and contact +2, and then as the game wears on, people start taking chances, trying to tackle him a little bit earlier, now let his momentum going, and that's when he's really dynamic. He starts making people pay. His jump cut is outstanding. His ability to accelerate, make people miss, and run through people is awesome. And he's got great eyes. He sees things great, and he gets better as the game goes on. The third and fourth quarter were certainly some of his best plays.
In the defense, you guys bent a few times, but didn't really break until that one touchdown late in the game. Just what did you see from him?
Yeah, I thought the defense was awesome. I know they got down there, they kicked a couple of field goals, but they had 4 3 and outs, I believe, an interception, a fumble. And we sputtered on offense. We really could have widened the gap a little bit, but we didn't. We got to get better at that. Certainly a lot of things to work on when we watch the film, but the defense, just the amount of pressure they put on their quarterback, the job they did on first and second down to put us in favorable third down situations, allowed us to play to our strengths, right? Our speed, our power, and allowed us to get the ball back.
Coach Adam,
All right, speaking of pressure, your offensive line tonight, Carson Beck, plenty of time, opened a lot of holes for Mark and Marty. What did you see from that unit, and what was successful from them tonight?
It was going to be one of those, again, a very muddy, a very dirty yards type of game. Todd Orlando is an awesome coordinator. I mean, Kevin Patrick does a great job coaching that front as well. They're a very physical bunch. You saw what they did the last couple of weeks. So every angle, every half position, hand placement, leverage, pad level today was going to be critically important. And then being able to fit and move piles was going to end up being the difference in third and short, fourth and short versus the longer yardage situation. So I see physical play. I see guys chasing guys down the field. I see just constant progress and improvement in the type of culture that Coach Mirabal sets for that room on a daily basis.
Coach, go to Brian Long.
Coach, obviously Brown has been going to run a lot, get a lot of yards. He does a great job of containing him tonight. What were the keys in keeping him continually at 2 positive yards from line of scrimmage?
Well, again, he's a great player. Like preparing for him is it's as difficult as you could imagine, because he does throw a great football. You saw the long passes he hit tonight. He almost hit another one there at the end. So a lot of diligence in watching film, a lot of schematic adjustment, and then some really hard physical play at the line of scrimmage, and getting 11 hats of the football. You see a lot of times it wasn't the first guy there, it was the second or third guy there trying to clean things up and getting him on the ground. You've got to wrap him up. You've got to get more hats of the football. You've got to get multiple people on him to eventually wear him down, because you saw what he did last week. He was running
what was something that you told the players, or what was going on during that weather delay?
Relax. We practiced. Fortunately for us, when we came here, the Sunday before we played Notre Dame, we had a practice schedule that night, and we kind of knew there was going to be a delay. And we practiced the delay. We practiced what we're going to eat, what we're going to put in our body, how to keep the players engaged without keeping them too tight, right? Not waste any energy, how to keep them hydrated, how to keep them off their feet, and then gauge when they're going to actually let us out there, because you still want to plan that so that you're warming up at the right time and hit the field in stride, if you're not sitting around waiting, having to come back in. So it is a process. Credit to the sports science department and nutrition. They work at it, and I feel like that they really did a great job preparing our team to come out and play good football.
Coach, we'll go to Andrea Adelson from ESPN.
As a follow-up to what Tim asked you, you said that your guys didn't really want to be a part of the narrative of what USF was doing, but did you sense that they did want to remind people what has made Miami the number 5 team in the country?
I don't think we even talk about. I mean, we really don't. I mean, that's we just want to get better. We got a really news that they really just don't care about anything outside of Miami, and so the amount of time and effort, like true connection that they have, and the way that they approach their dailies, and the way that they just disallow things to get in the way, I think supersedes all that stuff. I think it's deeper than just noise. I mean, you'll never not accept some extra noise, some extra fuel. But I think these guys are internally driven, and I think it showed up strong tonight.
Coach, go to Walter Vita here from Arrow.
Coach, your thoughts on Beck, not just him throwing the ball, but the added wrinkles running the ball as well?
Well, he's a big guy that can flat out run. The guy's a winner. He can hurt you in so many different ways. There's a couple he'd like to have back, but we also got to do a better job of the supporting cast on some of those and create just a better distribution relationship between what we're running down the field. But yeah, he's done that. He's done that his entire career. He's really good at it. So it certainly adds to our offensive package and makes us a little bit more dangerous.
Coach, going to wrap up with one more from Adam.
Mario, Josh Moore tonight gets the 2 touchdowns, number 2 of his career here. How much hard work did he put in to get onto the field as a freshman, and then kind of dynamism he brings to the field there?
Well, he's gifted beyond measure. He's certainly an unbelievable human being. Great upbringing, great parents, hard worker. Spends a ton of time and benefits a ton from being around C.J. Daniels and Keelan Marion. Both had great games as well tonight. And what you saw today, we see in practice pretty frequently. Those that have visited practice during live play have seen it as well. So I think all of our young receivers, we've spoken about Malachi a bunch, but Chance and Dalen, Upshaw, and guys like Icard, they're coming on really strong too. So we're feeling better and better about our depth at wide receiver, and not only depth, but just the caliber of player there. Josh really shined tonight in a couple different ways, and he's only going to get better.
Good morning. That was Coach Mario Cristobal after last night's 49-12 win against USF, who was 18 at the time. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the game. Offensively, everything clicked. I was at the game last night, so forgive me if I'm a little bit off. I got back at 1:30 this morning from South Florida. But yeah, total domination, first couple drives. The 2 picks from Carson, they were forced. The second one, first one's the bad read. Second one was that was both were forced. But when you looked at the second one, that was off Malachi's paw, threw a little high off Malachi. That was a tip ball, and then they picked it off. But aside from that, absolute domination in all 3 phases. We had 576 yards total offense last night to 332 for USF. What we did in this game is we held Brown. And Brown was very good. Brown was pretty good coming in. We held USF's. And you look at what they did. Okay. The point of the matter being, we held USF rushing. We held them to 40 yards rushing. But when you look at everything else last night, okay, Byron Brown was held to 2 yards rushing. Okay, we sacked Byron Brown last night. We sacked Byron Brown twice last night. Beck did have 2 picks. He was 23 of 28, 340 yards, 3 touchdowns. QBR 91.4. Okay. Fletch had 120 yards last night. The second guy is Carson Beck, 28 yards rushing. He did, and a touchdown. I mean, I was pretty impressed with Carson Beck running the ball last night. But listen, USF was a hot team coming in. We took care of business. We said, listen, we're going to take care of business. We were going to take this game seriously, and that's exactly what we did. Everything clicked in all 3 phases of the game. Though I was a little upset with the penalties. We've got to clean that up. 9 penalties for 69 yards last night. That's gotta get fixed. You know, I didn't like that. Though I can understand. I understand, like, most of them, USF was trying to simulate us. Yeah, but 9 for 69, that's got to get cleaned up. I did not like the way many of those penalties were on the pre-snap. That's got to get fixed. Okay? That's got to be fixed. With that being said, let me get to the report card. Offense, I'm gonna give a B, actually, because of the 2 picks and the pre-snap penalties. I could go a little higher, could go an A, but last night I got to give it a B. Defense, I'm gonna give an A. Okay, I'm gonna give an A. I'm not gonna give a plus because we committed because of those penalties. Got to clean that up. Special teams, I'm gonna give an A. Okay, very simple, straightforward there. Now I'm going to give out the game balls. Last night's game ball, my first game ball, I'm going to give is to Mark Fletcher, believe it or not. 120 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, 16 carries. Everything clicked last night for Fletch. Second game ball, I'm going to give it to Carson Beck. Even though he had the 2 picks, 3 touchdown passes, 23 to 28, 340. He also had 6 for 28 and a touchdown. So he had 4 total TDs last night. 3 passing, 1 rushing. That 1 rush was the naked boot, perfectly called on that. Third game ball I'm going to give to is, I'm actually going to give one to Joshua Moore. Okay, Joshua Moore gets my game ball for last night. Gets a game ball. He earned that last night. And my 4th and final game ball, I'm going to give that 4th and final game ball. I'm going to give to Ruben Bain. 6 tackles, 2 solo, 1 tackle for loss. I can easily give it, by the way, to Mesador and Booker Pickett, but my 4th and final game ball I'm going to give is to Ruben Bain. 3-0 on the season. Florida up next Saturday night at Hard Rock. Next podcast Tuesday night, recording at 7 o'clock. My guest will be Scott Carter, covers the Florida Gators, and we'll preview the Florida game. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and go Canes.